Video by the time we will introduce Alvarion to you all, like what we do, where we are from, and what we can do for you. Then after that, I'll just we can choose some slides from the presentation I did in the morning, which are more relevant to the gathering we have right now. Operator to put you on a fiber. Now, leasing a fiber to a Gram Panchayat is a little task for any operator because it will cost him a lot of money to leave a fiber strand only for one particular location. So, option we have is that we go on wireless and we can deliver up to even 20, 30, 40 Mbps bandwidth you need tomorrow. It's available on the same network. So, this comes in as the I'll go to that slide as well fast. Then we have the wireless ISPs, which is basically a service provider in your state, and they basically could be a local internet service provider who are last mile is always a challenge. So again, we provide point to multi-point radios, and they can operate onto the unlicensed band, still give you the QoS, still deliver the SLAs what you want, and give them the right video, voice, and data deliveries. The other the other verticals what we feel are important for your state would be the mining, the enterprise, and the transportation as well, because the railways is an important vertical here, and a lot of products which we can offer for that. So I'll push on to the specific slides faster, and let's go to that because I have just one second. Okay, so this is about the first application which I talked about was the video surveillance and the first responders. Basically, we could have a kind of a wish list that your state police could have a vehicle which is fitted with some vehicular subscriber device, and he would have a camera onto that vehicle, and when he is traveling, he could respond and he could send the feed back to the control room, where the senior people could take an action onto anything which is happening around that area. It could be a good event, maybe where there is a lot gathering but they want to control the crowd, they want to allocate forces according to what they can see, or it could be kind of a mishappen where they want to see the coverage what's happening without getting very near to the location and still respond to how we can address to that equation. So basically we have devices which can do that. On the mobile vehicles we can address to this, and so this is something which is there. Plus, we can get real-time visual contents from every traffic crossing, and we can get visual we can get video from various the markets, the important areas like stadiums. They could be airport, could be railway stations, so they can be addressed onto by wireless to the nearest points. This was one of the areas where we did was on the Kumbh Mela, which happened last year. And we had deployed about more than 45 cameras in about a half a kilometer area, and it was few cameras were a little very far off, or not even 20 kilometers away. So basically there they had covered millions of people coming onto River Ganga bathing, and there was so much of crowd. So it was all monitored by the cameras and strategically located, and they were all via the wireless was received by the videos was received by control rooms. Now moving for the municipality, which was what we were discussing here. So these are the topologies. We have point-to-point radios which can connect a building to building. So it could be two offices in the government. You want to connect and exchange data, voice and video. Or it could be the point-to-multipoint scenario as well. So this is the case which we was talking about was on the Weber. So this is something which has been done. And in the railways, I would address that our product is RDSO approved already. So basically, it is approved and being tested and tried by the railways department. So any project which is on the railways can easily incorporate and use our product. And again, it is both point-to-point radios and point-to-multipoint, and this could be many applications onto that. Moving a little faster because the time is I have to follow. Okay, coming to the mines, which is also an important area in this part of the state. So basically we have a few requirements. We need a real-time GPS positioning of all the cranes and the diggers which are actually working on a big area, because there are few hundreds of acres of the mines what we have. Similarly, we have a requirement of automated vehicle dispatches, which is basically carrying the mining area equipment and what we have received from there. So they have to go from one location to another location into the dumping areas and wherever they are processed. So it's a whole area which has to be monitored. The other important requirement is that they have on-site offices as well. Now obviously we can't have copper and fiber and dug up into the mining area because that's not possible. So the only option available to connect all these locations is wireless. Now again we have weigh bridges at various points within the mining area where they want to weigh every point where how much whatever resources has been taken out finally and finally received at the receiving side. So basically there is no pilferage. So they keep on weighing the vehicle at least 2 or 3 times during the entire transit and finally reaching to the destination. So those weigh bridges are also on today they are on the apps and they're basically on the monitored and they're all controlled by the central location. So they're all having that location. So and also they're basically video surveillance requirement in the mining for deploying cameras again for securing the vital assets and monitoring the mining activities. All again the requirement is basically that we have to have all the connectivity is happening over the entire area and the only solution available is the wireless. So what we believe is that within the state there is huge requirement of wireless and all the applications which we are talking about and the verticals I've discussed, basically they are the key areas of operations today. And I would emphasize that if the wirelesses are included into the requirements. In India, we've been used by all the big telcos. We have a good relation with them. In a way, like Airtel is using us in a big time. We have Aircel as a big customer for us. We have Reliance using us. So as a telecom operators, we've already been there for many years. And now we are getting into the non-telecom market for the last 2 years, and I've already shared some successes with you. So basically that is for me, and the partners most welcome to touch base after the presentation. And thank you.